this is Daniel with Pointerra, and today we'll be running through one of our cornerstone analytics, the poles and wires workflow. So to start off, we'll open up the 3D viewer, and you can see we've got our point cloud here. We'll go down to the Projects tab, click the Run Analytic Lightning Bolt, select Poles and Wires. It'll default to give the analytic the name Poles and Wires. We'll leave that as is. You can add some metadata if you'd like. Leave it as version 3, that's our latest version. For the config, you can choose whether you have fixed-wing LiDAR, MLS, or airborne. And we'll go ahead and run the analytic. So what this analytic is going to do is it's going to do a few things. Firstly, it's going to auto-classify the point cloud. So we'll take a look at that over here by turning on the classifications. So you can see what it's going to do is it's going to classify the point cloud into some different classes here. And what it's also going to do is it's going to create some pole and wire vectors that we can see here. So it's going to actually extract the LiDAR points and turn on and create a vector layer. And you can see this lives independent of the point cloud. So if I turn off the point cloud in the base map, you can see we actually have a vector layer that lives on its own, independent of the point cloud. So that's the first step of the workflow, is to kick off the analytic. That's going to run automatically in the background. The next step is going to be to open up the poles and wires edit tools, and you're going to be able to edit this data set as you need to. There's a myriad of tools. You can do things like add a pole, add attributes to the pole, things like guy wires, cross arms, service wires, lights, and several others. There are span tools, so you can add a span, add span wires individually, add unattached wires if they're going off to the edge of the point cloud. And you can assign wire circuits, assign span attributes from external data. There are a whole host of tools in here. And the great thing about these tools is as you move through them, the instructions on how to use the tools in the browser appear here. And as you click through them, the instructions update automatically. And you can see it'll show you how long the task takes to run. It's going to run the task for you here. Usually runs within a few seconds, and we'll see what we get here. In this instance, we already have a span present, so it added a second one, but we'll go ahead and get rid of that. So after you do your manual cleanup QC of the data set, you're going to click this magic wand here, this generate classifications and encroachment. And what that's going to do is it's going to run the veg analytics that run in conjunction with our poles and wires workflow. And once that's finished, you're going to get actually a second poles and wires vector data set. It's going to duplicate that. And what that's going to do is it's going to reclassify in the LiDAR the points that are touching the pole and wire vectors. So it'll actually reclassify those into pole classes and wire classes, depending on the specifications that you give it. So if you have things like primary and secondary comms wires, it'll reclassify those individually. You can also run things like vegetation encroachments. You can look at things like pole lean, minimum clearances. You can actually generate tree polygons and tree crowns to show strike trees or trees that will overstrike the line. So there's a whole host of vegetation analytics that run in conjunction with our poles and wires workflow. These are highly customizable. And all you need to do to specify those is get in touch with our team. We will make sure that we configure those specifications exactly as you need them, and we'll be ready to run within a few days or even less, depending on if it's something we've seen before. So our poles and wires is sort of a 4-step workflow. First, we upload our point cloud. Next, we're going to kick off that automated poles and wires analytic in the bottom right here. Once that runs, step 3 is going to be to do the manual cleanup and QC. Step 4 is going to be to sort of finalize that and run the vegetation analytics against that data set, as well as it'll generate some reports down at the bottom here. So you can have things like shape files, KMLs, CSVs, and many other file formats that you can export, that you can download and take into your other platforms as you need to. That's just a quick overview of our poles and wires workflow. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to our team. Thanks.